So your Fabco Pro Street Stocks getting ready. Said 20 laps will be the distance. Remington Marquette will be inside row number 1. Alongside him will be Rick Duskus in the number 3 machine. Inside row number 2, it's the father-son show. Sid Harmer Sr., the 690, will be on the inside. And Sid Harmer Jr., the 14R, will be on the high side. Row number 3 to the inside, it'll be Mike White in the 1X, Ryan Shanahan in the number 32. Row number 4, Justin White will be inside in that 7X, and on the outside him will be the 3K of Sean Kirby. Steve Gilmore is number 6, will sit inside row number 5. Outside him will be the Terry Gardner, number 23, and rounding out the field, Jason Gilmore, the 6X, and Kevin Federley in the 57K. Lights are off. We get ready to go. Our next feature of the evening. Here come the Pro Stocks off turn number 4. Rick Duskus going to power to the outside of the Speedway off row number 1. And we got 2 cars spinning over in turn number 2. They'll head down to turn number 3 and 4, coming to the inside, and caution flag will wave. No laps in, 0 laps in. Caution flag will wave as the 23 of Terry Gardner and the 57K of Kevin Federley, I believe, the car is involved. No, Federley is still going, so.
Restart, right? Yes. Yeah.
So 0 laps in, we're going to have to line these guys up. It'll be a complete restart. Going right over there into turn number 4, getting ready to turn the ponies loose. Adam Knapp now out to the front of the office on top of the flag stand as he will handle our Pro Street Stocks here tonight. Green flag is back in the air. Off turn number 2. Off 2, they will go for the first time. Down the backstretch. Look at Sid Harmer Jr. to the outside. Sid Harmer Sr. to the inside. Rick Duskus trying to hold off the field. They work off turn number 4, racing down the front stretch. It'll be Duskus out in front. He'll lead him to the line to score lap number 1. Sid Harmer Jr. now turns it down to the inside. Over in turn number 2, looks to put a nose alongside of the Rick Duskus number 3. They'll drag race down the backstretch. Sid Harmer Sr. watching that battle as Remington Marquette settles back to the number 4 spot. They swing into turn number 3 and 4. That lineup stays the same as they swing to the north end of the Speedway. Here comes Sid Harmer Jr. now down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll be side by side with Rick Duskus as they go to turn number 1 and 2. Duskus not going to lift the throttle, not going to let him get away that quickly. Harmer down to the bottom as they work off turn number 2, but Sid Harmer Jr. will have the lead midway down the backstretch. Into turn number 3. Harmer your leader, Duskus second. Third would be Sid Harmer Sr. as they work off turn number 3 and 4, come racing down the front stretch. Back behind them, good battle shaping up as they head down into turn number 1 and 2. Battle for the number 4 and 5 spot. Justin White getting out there. As they head down into turn number 3. This time, watch that battle up in front as the 3 cars begin to break from the field. Sid Harmer Jr. continuing to show the way. His dad, Sid Harmer Sr., now looks to the inside of Rick Duskus, trying to make it an all-Harmer show at the front of the field. And chasing them is the 1X of Justin White. They work off turn number 2, this time down the backstretch. Sid Harmer Sr., the number 690, has the advantage out in front of the Rick Duskus number 3 machine. And now the caution will wave. 1 car all the way up here next to the concrete wall on turn number 4, way out of the racing groove, and that's going to bring caution out once again. Mike White in the 1X was the car that had stopped right up next to the concrete wall, and he's going to drive around the outside of the field, and Mike may be headed all the way back into the pit area very quickly, may have a sneaker down on the 1X. Mike White out of Winthrop, New York, the Dow Mechanical White's Plumbing and Heating ride, and yeah, he's very quickly headed towards pit road as he drives up to the top of a turn number 3. Track safety lights off. We get ready to go at it one more time. Bill Isley Sr. pulls the FX Caprera Can-Am pace truck down to the safe haven of the infield. Over there on the backstretch, very quickly they head to turn number 3 and 4. Off turn number 4, green flag will wave once again. Sid Harmer Jr. is going to take him off the bottom of the racetrack, out in front of his dad, Sid Harmer Sr. Down the backstretch, Rick Duskus now holds on to the number 3 spot as they swing into turn number 3 and 4. Justin White working to the outside of him as they head to turn number 3. All the way up to the top side of the racetrack, Duskus looks to the outside. Sid Harmer Sr. had a nose alongside Jr. for a second, and now Duskus goes up the hill. Justin White comes to the inside as they switch lanes over in turn number 2, and now add Sean Kirby to the mix as they work off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Down into turn number 3 and 4. Watch that battle for the number 4 spot now as they swing off turn number 3 and 4, racing down the front stretch. Good battle mid-pack now as Rick Duskus continues to hold off a hard-charging Justin White. Duskus at number 3, White to the outside in that 1X, opens the door to the inside down the backstretch. That battle will continue towards turn number 3. Sean Kirby, the next car in line as they go to turn number 3 and 4. Kirby comes down to the bottom of the racetrack, tries to get a nose underneath Justin White. Won't get it done this time at the line. That is the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and they're 3 wide over at turn number 2, and Sean Kirby says, "Squeeze me," and he heads all the way up into the number 3 spot. But here comes Justin White right back to the outside. Rick Duskus slow midway down the backstretch, all the way to the outside of the Speedway, and Duskus may be headed back towards the pit area in that number 3 machine. A tough break for the young guy out of Watertown. Field works off turn number 4, racing down the front stretch. Mike White back out onto the racing surface with us once again as our leaders now head down to the turn number 3 and 4. Well, Sid Harmer Jr. all by himself will work off turn number 4 this time. He'll come racing down the front stretch. Sid Harmer Sr. about a quarter of a straightaway behind him, followed by Sean Kirby, and then following them will be Justin White into that number 7 X machine as they work off turn number 2, go racing down the backstretch. Following them will be Ryan Shanahan, Remington Marquette, and the Steve Gilmore, number 6 machine. They work off turn number 4, down in front, cross flags are out. Sid Harmer Jr. continuing to show the way. Harmer down to turn number 1 and 2 in the number 14 machine. He'll twist it off the bottom of turn number 2, lets it drift out midway down the backstretch, out in front of the field. About a quarter of a straightaway back now will be his dad, the number 690 of Sid Harmer Sr. We got one car out of shape over in turn number 4. That is the 57K of Kevin Federley, and he is facing the wrong direction all the way up there against the concrete wall on the outside of turn number 4, right at the entrance to pit road. So caution flag will wave just as we scored the halfway point of the race here for the Fabco Pro Street Stocks this evening. So Rick Duskus, who had the early lead and ran up towards the front of the field, mechanical problems on the number 3 machine as he's headed back towards the pit area. A couple of laps back there, slowed down. Ryan Haggerty letting me know that they put a brand new motor in the number 3 car today, so tough break for Rick with that. We go back to green, and again, Sid Harmer Jr. will take the field into turn number 1 and 2. Sid Harmer Sr. goes up the hill, opens the door to the inside, and here comes Sean Kirby. And this sounds like a broken record, but we're going to have Sean Kirby and Sid Harmer Jr. at the front of the field one more time for the 2018 season. These guys will go at it off turn number 4. They've had some great battles so far this season. That's what we talked about in this division. They're going to work off turn number 2 down the bank. Sid Harmer Jr., 5 car lengths out in front of the number 3K of Sean Kirby, followed by the 690 of Sid Harmer Sr. Justin White continues to hold on to the number 4 spot. They work through turn number 3 and 4, coming towards the front of the field now as they work off turn number 4. Here comes Sid Harmer Sr. He's going to go right back by the outside of Sean Kirby, and he'll battle out there for the number 2 spot. Off turn number 2, they will be side by side midway down the backstretch. Kirby with a nose out in front as they head to turn number 3 and 4. Keep an eye on that battle for the number 2 position as they work through turn number 3 and 4. Harmer way up to the top side of the racetrack. Kirby trying to make it stick right in the middle as they come racing down the front stretch, and the fast line around continues to be a little bit higher than that bottom groove as Sid Harmer Sr. out of Governor, the number 690, able to hold the spot, but now off turn number 2, here comes Sean Kirby. Kirby goes right back to the inside, and Sid Harmer Jr., meanwhile, is missing a great race going on behind him. He'll work off turn number 4, comes racing down the front stretch in that number 14 machine, and then back behind him will be that side-by-side battle between Sean Kirby and Sid Harmer Sr. as they go down into turn number 3 and 4 this time. Looks like Kirby will have the advantage. He'll get out in front of Sid Harmer Sr. Jr. works off the top of turn number 4. Sean Kirby to the bottom of the racetrack, a little bit of a bobble, but very quickly gets it right back up. Sid Harmer Jr. down the front stretch, Justin White chasing him, followed by the 32 of Ryan Shanahan, and Mike White in the number 1X machine will be the next car in line as they work off turn number 2, go racing down the backstretch. They work off turn number 3 and 4. Sid Harmer Jr. continuing to stretch that advantage out in front of the field. Sean Kirby now strongly up into that number 2 spot, but a distance back as they head off turn number 2. They'll go racing down the backstretch. Less than a handful of laps here remaining in the Fabco Pro Street Stock feature here this evening. They work off turn number 4, racing down the front stretch. Sid Harmer Sr. drifting back just a little bit. Justin White able to slide by him. White's going to take over the number 3 spot as Senior's got problems on that number 690 machine. Sid Harmer Sr. also out of Governor, the Kenny's House of Speed Ride, down the backstretch with a couple of issues here as he has started to fade through the field. Parallel sticks coming out, just 2 more trips around the Speedway. Sid Harmer Jr. stretching that advantage. He's had a lot of bad luck the last couple weeks with some broken equipment, but right now he is out in front and dominating this field down the backstretch. The leader's going to work off turn number 4 this time all by his lonesome. He'll be bringing him down the front stretch. 1 car slow to the top of the Speedway over in turn number 3 and 4. And that's going to bring the caution out with 1 lap remaining in this Pro Stock feature here tonight. See who the car is on the outside as he hangs back. Of course, head game's very important here. Now he'll drive up to the outside as we get ready to go to green. Adam Knapp will look him over. Green flag and white flag will wave together. Sid Harmer Jr. with a beautiful restart. Sid Harmer Jr. takes him down to turn number 1 and 2. Kirby a groove higher. They work off turn number 2. Justin White right there in the mix as they go racing down the backstretch. Here comes Sid Harmer Sr. to the inside. He'll close on the back bumper of Sean Kirby. They switch lanes over in turn number 3 and 4. Harmer comes down the hill. Kirby goes way up to the top side. Sid Harmer Jr. is going to score the win. Sid Harmer Sr. steals second place at the line in front of Sean Kirby. Fight back to the number 3 spot. They'll be followed by the Mike White number 1X and the number 32 of Ryan Shanahan will round out the top 5 cars. Well, no stranger to Victory Lane. He's going to visit it once again here tonight. Climbing out on the backside of the 14R, here's Sid Harmer Jr.
I gotta see.
Mister, congratulations. You know, we talk about this every week, but I can't get over the battles you guys have up there. You, your dad, Sean Kirby, you guys have put on an amazing show all year.
Yeah, it's been awesome racing. I mean, inside the car, and then whenever I got to sit on the sidelines and watch the end of it.
Yeah, you've had a tough couple of weeks here. We broke some equipment out here.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago we got tore up in a little incident. I mean, no hard feelings there. It happens. And then last week was a big one. Checked right out and thought we had it in the bag, and the motor decided to go south. So I got to thank these guys, my crew. I mean, the three, Nelson and Dennis and Danny Horton, I tell you, they've nonstop right with me last week. So, I mean, we worked three days on this week trying to get the motor out and trying to get the old one back together and get all the pulleys and stuff on it to get out here to race tonight. And I didn't think we were going to make it. I thought we were going to take Dad's car, but that worked.
Well, that Dad got back to the end there, snuck by Sean Kirby, and took the second spot right at the line here. So a good finish for the Harmer family.
Yeah, that's good. He'll get one here soon. I think he's starting to listen and doing a little copying. So I'd like to see him right up there side by side with me battling for the win.
All right, well, congratulations. Sid Harmer back to victory lane.
I got to thank the sponsors, GNR FX, VW, Sunset Boulevards, my father-in-law, my wife for putting up with this last 2 weeks. I know it's stressful with everything we got going on at home, but she hangs in there with the kids, and Danny and Dennis, Style Design, GNR Auto Parts, all of them.
All right.
Engines too.
Congratulations. Sid Harmer Jr., a classic win again here this evening. Another great battle between him and Sean Kirby, Sid Harmer, and a tough break for Rick Duskus. The four of them have put on a great show. Justin White with a nice finish here tonight in the 7X, and another great battle for all our pro street stocks here this evening. Now it's time for the Wild Bunch. Here we get ready for the Marsha Gibbons Thunder Stock feature. Yeah, I noticed.